All right, I'm getting rained on, so I'm gonna have to be quick. I actually got stormed on a little bit ago, but kind of ran out of it, and it's apparently catching up with me. So here's the other thing I did today. If you didn't see part 1 of the video, check it out. Went back in the marsh and caught bass, redfish, flounder, and even some speckled trout. But then I went and did something I also love to do this time of year. You know, the specks in the winter get in that deep water. Everybody knows that. Speckled trout fishing 101, no doubt about it. But in the months of February and March, they don't necessarily leave and go outside yet. They're going to start angling that way. But what they do first is get back in the shallow ponds. It's something that happens every year at this time. And the key to having success with this, you want to fish ponds that have grass and ponds that have mullet. You also want a little bit of depth. You don't want to fish those really, really shallow ponds that have no depth. You want at least 2, really even more, 3, even 4 feet. If you get those 3 ingredients together, the grass, the mullet, and a little bit of depth, you're going to find those speckled trout. Now, traditional techniques don't necessarily work back in the ponds. Not something I'm going to go back there and throw a popping cork or just a jig. You're going to get snagged a whole bunch, probably catch a few fish, I don't know, but it's not my thing to do. I like to go back there this time of year and throw topwater baits. So what I did today, had tremendous success. I caught 14, 15 speckled trout by myself, fishing water I'd never ever fished before. Now, believe it or not, this she-dog was fully painted when I started the day, and look at it now. It's just absolutely torn to shreds. Got plenty bites. More bites than I caught, but caught plenty fish, and the fish was solid. Didn't catch any giants. I was really hoping to run into some 4 and 5 pound speckled trout. Didn't happen. The biggest I caught was probably about 15 inches. Also caught a few throwbacks. But let me tell you, it is a blast. Whenever you're fishing topwaters, it is a blast. So all you want to do, look at a map. Look at a map before you go. You know where the big trout hang out in the wintertime. That deep water, there's no secret. Everybody knows where they are. Just look at the shallow ponds in those areas, and you will have success. Now, you might have to go in there. I found several ponds today totally unfishable. Too shallow, too choked with grass. Had to get out of those and go find something that had like a nice donut of grass on the outside and some deeper water in the middle, and you just work your bait along those edges. Basically, I get my boat in the middle, throw it to the edges of the grass, and working it back. Believe me, you're going to get fouled a good bit. They got floating grass all in these ponds. You're going to hook it up with your topwater bait. So what? Pull it off, move on, make another cast. It is well worth it. Absolute blast. Should be going on for at least another 4 weeks, maybe even longer, but it is a great thing to do this time of year. Remember, this weekend is a weekend to go exploring. The fish are spread out. Don't do the traditional stuff that everybody does this time of year and come back with just 5, 6 speckled trout. You can definitely find some fish. Go exploring, and I promise you, you will.